All right, welcome to this episode. If you could remember, in the previous episode, we were able to talk about our levels, and I was able to show you just a very few settings that you can do in your Revit software. Now, in this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make good use of your Revit tools. Now, you know fully well that we have a lot of Revit tools, but then I'm going to focus more on the most important tools that you will use for almost every project that you are going to have. Now, if you could remember, we had to come to our elevation in order for us to get here. Now, the interesting thing about this is if you come to your east elevation, you will still find this. If you come to south elevation, you will still find this. Okay, so that is that. So that was why I said you can create these elevations from anywhere. Okay, you can create your levels from any of the elevations. Okay, so all you need to do is just to let me just close the tabs, because any of those tabs you click, it will create a new window for you here, which is what you see there. Now you will have to, while you are at this elevation, in order for you to see those levels that you have created, because those levels are supposed to appear here. If you look at this, the first thing, if you could remember at the beginning, was L1, which is level 1, L2, which we renamed to NGL, and DPC, if you could remember. But the software by default already has created levels for you on its own. So we will have to delete these levels that has been created by this software. So all I need to do is to click on it once, and I'll click on my delete tab. I will click on this again once, and I will click on my delete on my keyboard. Now, if you look at your levels here, you can see it's no longer there. So all I need to do is to come to my view tab here. When I click on view tab, I will come to plan views. I'll come to floor plan, and I'm going to highlight all of this. I will hold on control to highlight the parapets. So everything has been highlighted, all my levels are now here. Now, good. You could remember from these levels, I had to include numbers to them. The reason is because of this. You can see this has helped me to sort this properly based on their levels. This is the natural ground level, which is going to be the first. This is going to be the DPC that is coming on top of it. This is lintel that is coming on top. So it's based on the levels. Now I was able to arrange them this way. If I do not include this number at the front, Revit will automatically sort these alphabetically for me. So what that will be is that DPC will most likely come, okay, C, which is the ceiling, will definitely come first, then DPC will come second. It will not affect the levels anyway, but when you are trying to do your modeling, by the time you are dealing with a large project, now trying to look for the next level, you might get confused. By the time you keep using Revit, you will most likely understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm just going to click on OK, and all of these levels are going to come up at this project browser. So automatically you can see the floor plan tab, this one is now back. If I click on this plus sign, you can see all those levels I created are now here. Now all I need to do is to do my model from this point. So I can start my model from the natural ground or start from DPC, but you can start from the natural ground because most of the time what you have on the natural ground is what you start from natural ground is what you will have at the DPC level. Okay, only that at the natural ground level you do not have openings. Okay, so here now, at this point I'm going to be showing you how to use the major Revit tools that you will be using in most of your projects. Okay, as we progress, you keep discovering other great tools that you can use in Revit to make your job way more easier and faster. So if I come to my modify tab, you can see we have offset, we have mirror, we have this mirror. I'm going to be showing you the difference, how to use them. If I come back to my architectural tab, now I'm going to use my line. I will click on this line tool and I will draw. You can see. So if you are familiar with AutoCAD, I'm sure Revit will not be much of a problem for you. But if you are not familiar with AutoCAD, it's still not a problem. Now I have been able to draw my lines by just using my line tool. All I need to do is just to click on the line tool, click on my first point, just hover my mouse along any direction that I want and it will follow me. It's as simple as that. Now there is a wall tool. So if I click on my wall tool and I click on my first point, click on my second point, click on my third point, I can make this straight, I can make this diagonal, I can make this vertical. You can see as I'm clicking, it's following me. Very interesting, right? Now let me come back to my architectural tab and still click on my wall tool. You will discover that when you click on your wall, automatically the properties of this wall, which is the properties menu, this properties menu is here. We have the project browser. When you look at this properties menu, you will discover that there is a drop down menu here as well. Now when you click on that arrow here, it will give you all the list of different types of walls that you can use. Now you are not restricted to use just these walls. You can create your own walls, okay, which I'm going to be showing you as we progress. Now if you look at this very well, you will see you have different walls in different sizes. Okay, this is a concrete 600, concrete foundation 250. So you can, if you look at this very well, I don't know, I am not seeing, there is a particular wall I am not seeing, which makes it more interesting. I'm going to be showing you how to create that. But let's say we pick the generic wall of 200 mm, for example. If I click the generic wall of 200 mm and this is not the actual size I want to use, all I need to do is I can click on this edit types. Once I click on edit types, I can come down to this place. It's important that you duplicate. So I will click on duplicate and I will specify the size of my wall and I will click on OK. So if I duplicate, I am not done yet. I will have to edit this to suit that 230 wall that I specified. I just gave it a name. Now I want to specify the size. So if I click on OK now, this wall automatically has become a 230 size of wall. So if I click on my first point, click on my second point, now I'm using a 230 size of wall. So, but then if you look at this wall, you will discover it's telling you unconnected height. If you remember, now we are working on natural ground level. This is natural ground level. This is natural ground level, base constraint. So our base is natural ground level. Now our top constraint, you can see here, is telling us is unconnected. Now if you know we are dealing with levels. If you look at this, from the natural ground level to the DPC level is supposed to be 600. Is that not so? So if you look at this now, if you come back here, if you click on this wall, these walls are all unconnected. They are telling you 696. Okay, so I'm just going to simply delete this wall and just use this to demonstrate what I want to show you. Now this wall, now if you look at, if I click on any of this wall, I will have to, from my settings, specify that I want this wall to stop at DPC level. So what that means is that this wall is going to end at DPC level. Okay, so I can do that for all of them by just holding on Control to select all. When I select all of them, I would click on this drop down menu and specify DPC, because this is where I want my walls to stop at my DPC level. So if I come back to my south architecture, you can see this line here is showing you where this wall is ending at this level. So it's starting at the natural ground level and it's ending at the DPC level. Very important. You must understand how this works. Now automatically by default, every other wall I'm going to create, I will have to, although I will have to make from my settings, let my walls end at DPC. So if I do it from the settings, any other wall I create will automatically end at the DPC level. Because from the settings I was able to change it. So this one I will delete it. From the settings I am able to change that. So if I look at this now, you will realize I think this one is covering it based on the elevations we are looking at it from. So this one is covering it. Okay, so I will delete this wall. Let me see if there is something else I need to show you here. Okay, so for some other key settings on walls that you may not understand now, even as we progress, you will keep getting to understand how to use them, because I'm going to be showing you how to manipulate most of these walls to achieve your design. Okay, so but let me quickly show you how to create maybe like your windows and your doors. But you see this wall now that I have at my natural ground level. So let's say these walls that I have here, I want to actually have the same wall as it is like this on my DPC level and at the same position. So this wall now, all I need to do is just to highlight it, and I will come here and click on copy to clipboard, and you can see here we have a paste. I will click on the drop down menu and click on align to selected level. So it will tell me, it will ask me to select the level I want to paste this to. So I want to paste this to my DPC level. So if I click on OK, remember that my DPC level to my first floor level is 3 meters. So but let's go to DPC level and see what we have. Now if you come to your DPC level, if I click on the wall, you can see, always remember these settings, they are very important. So top constraint, where do I want this wall to go to? I want this wall to get to my first floor level. Now this is my DPC level. You can see what we have here is top offset. Now that means this is going to go beyond my DPC level, my first floor level, it will go up to, it will increase up to 600, and that is not what I want. But there are cases where probably I would want that to happen, but in this case this is not what I want. Now let me show you perfectly what I mean by that. Now if you look at this wall, even this one, there is a mistake there which I'm going to correct. Okay, this is the same wall, but you know, not all that I extended. If I come back here, this is the only wall I was able to change to my first floor level. The other walls are still at DPC level. Okay, and that is not what I want. And then if you check this DPC level, is telling you top offset. That means it's increasing by 600, so it will go above that level you specify by 600. That is what it means. Okay, so if you look at this now, I don't want this to offset to 600. I just want it to be at the actual height. So this is going to be 600. First floor is not going to increase in any way. So I can do similarly for all of this by just selecting all of them, and I will remove this. I'll change it to 0. I will specify this to my first floor. So this is just going to be at my first floor level. So let's look at this from this elevation and see what we have. Perfect. So this is very, very important. This is one of the key important settings that you should also understand in your Revit software, or else you are going to be getting your entire modeling wrong. Once you miss it out at this point, it's difficult to retrace your step, most especially as a beginner, except as a professional who has been using Revit for a long time. Okay, now you can see we have been able to create our walls at the natural ground level and also at the first floor level. So if you look at this from this, you can see this one stops at the DPC, this one starts at the DPC, it gets up to the first floor. Now let's come back here to our DPC, and then now I want to insert a door, and I also want to insert a window. So if I click on this door tool, for example, now if you click on this drop down menu, you are going to see various list of doors in different sizes and in different types. Now in the Revit model I'm going to be sending to you, you are going to have so many more features in Revit, which I'm going to be showing you how to use them as we progress. But here now, if you look at these doors, all I need to do is to select based on the type of door I want to insert in my model. Now let's say I want to use this door of 1000. Let's say the width of the door I want is 1200 by 2100. So it's not available here. So all I need to do is just to pick it, and I will hover my mouse along where I want to place this door. You can see as I move my mouse, it's giving me the position of each of these, telling me where to place them. Now let's say I just place this door here, for example. The interesting thing about Revit is that it allows you to position any of your components anywhere, anyhow you want it. Now look at this door that I have here now. Let's say from this place to this place is 1200 based on where I want to position this. I can simply type 1200 here and this will adjust automatically. Let's say this door, I don't want it to open outside, I want it to be opening inside instead. All I need to do is to select the door and click this one that is here. It's telling you are flipping the other direction. You can see this will flip the other direction. Very, very interesting. Now let's say I pick another door, for example. This time around I want to pick a single door, let's say this one, and then let's say I drop it here. Now what this means is that this door is opening that way to this position. Now let's say I want to switch it the other direction. You can see I have been able to switch it. Let's say I want it to open inside. You can see I've switched it. Let's say I want it to open inside but this way. You can see that I've switched it. Very easy. And let's say I want to reposition this now to be at maybe 5 meters distance from here. Now all I need to do is just to click on this door and I will type 5 meters, and boom, you can see it has been shifted. Very interesting. Now if you click on this door, for example, you can see it will tell you the properties. That is why I started by telling you this is the properties of each of your whether a component or a family or any element you are working with at that time. Now it will tell you, give you the properties of that particular component. Now this is a component. Now it will give you the entire properties. Now you can see this is telling me this swing angle is 90 degrees. The masonry insert is 25. Everything that has to do with this door is giving me the proper information about it. But if you could remember, I told you that I don't want this door to be 1800 by 2100. Now can change this door size to, I will have to duplicate. Very important, do not forget to duplicate. And then I will type 1200 by 2100, and then I will now edit this to 1200. Once I click on apply and I click on OK, automatically it will update itself. Now you can see the door has become a bit smaller. Now if I come here now, automatically I will be able to find that same door in this place. That door will be here. If I come to look for 1200 by 2100, I will be able to find it. Look at it here. Very interesting. And it's the same thing goes to whether a door or even a window. Now if we try to look at this from our 3D view, we have 3D view here. View, click on 3D. And if I zoom this, interesting, you can see what we have. If I click on this full navigation wheel, I'll click on it and hold on this orbit. It will help me to be able to go round the building. You are not rotating the building, you are the one walking round that particular building model. Okay, that is what orbit does for you. You can see the doors that I have created. You can see the walls that I have created. Very, very easy, very, very straightforward. So what I have done now, I will just come back to my DPC level. At this DPC level, I also want to create a window. So the same way we were able to create our door is the same way you will create your window. There is no difference between them. So all you need to do is to pick a particular window you want to use and just insert. So once I click on, let's say I just want to click this. Let me show you something very interesting about Windows. So if I insert my window here, alright, so I've been able to insert my window. You can see this window. There is what we call the seal height. Very, very important. This is one very key important settings you must understand as far as Windows are concerned. So if I click on these windows, you can see we have our seal height to be 900. Now, you know, in a building, you have, this building is 3 meters height. Now, from the bottom of this building, from the bottom to the bottom of the window, that's from this bottom to this bottom of this window, should be 900 based on my specification. Is 900, but I need to know what is the height of the window. So if I subtract 900 and if I add 900 plus the height of the window plus whatever space that is remaining here, will be able to give me 3 meters as a height. That's basically what it means. So if you look at this now, let's see what is the size of this window. So this window is actually 1400 by 1800. Let's say I change this window to 1200 by 1200. So I will duplicate this. So if we use 12 by 12, it's easier to demonstrate or explain, because 12 by 12 will be centralized on the building. So this is a square window, not a rectangular window, based on what I specified just now. So I'm using 12 by 12. I will click on apply and I will click on OK. So I'll click on OK. All right. So let's come back to this 3D and see what is here. So the seal height means from the bottom of my DPC to the bottom of this window is 900. That is basically what it is. So what if I want to change my seal height? But now that will now make this window to be centralized, because if you take 900 here, take 900 here, and then this is 1200, this will give you 3000 as a height. So what if I change this seal height to 1200? You will discover that this window will push up a bit. So this is basically what seal height does for you. So it's very, very important. I had to explain it vividly in order for you to understand what that means. Okay, so this is basically how to come about your doors, your windows. The same thing, you can switch this and flip it to open inside. You can flip it to open outside, just like the way we did for our doors. You can change the position of this. If you want this from this wall to this to be 500, you can just simply just do that and it will be shifted. If you want to centralize it, you can centralize it. You can reposition it however you want. So we've come to the end of this particular episode. In the next episode, I will go extensively to show you some more interesting tools in Revit that you can use to achieve your model. Stay tuned.